and scars. I'll brush you off just like the dust upon my shoulder. I have a hunch of who you are. Believe it or not, I got the strength to blow you over. I'm a hurricane, I'm bringing thunder and rain. I'm a hurricane if you get in my tantrum. You're never satisfied with what you have. Every day's an off day if you don't get your way. Scream more, more, more until your throat gets sore. Jump on the direct express. Let's make it right. Don't be a spoiled brat, baby. Get out tonight. Oh, get out tonight. Oh yeah, you know what I want. Never pants in any weather. The world revolves around you. Greedy and a bit needy. That's what I like about you. Your perky, pouting lips don't put your love on me. Oh, I beg and bribe to get to you, but how much can I pay? Oh, jump on the direct express. Let's make it right. Don't be a spoiled brat, baby. Get out tonight. Jump on the direct express. Let's make it give off a toxic vibe, making me lose my mind. That's why I'm sitting in your room. Looks like Lil Uzi Tomb. Thought I smelled a witch, but I go stupid for a pretty Instagram year span. Planning this night, try to suit up for a scam. I said I'll pick you up at 8. You probably won't be awake. Call yourself an Uber, babe. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Need you during a sleepless night, but you're too high to drive. I know that if I'm gonna die, no one will see you cry. Thought I smelled a witch, but I go stupid for a pretty Instagram year span. Planning this night, try to suit up for a scam. I said I'll pick you up at 8. You probably won't be awake. Call yourself an Uber, babe. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. You think I don't know when you're lying. You're at the club and phone's on silent. I'm worried sick, but you don't give a fuck. And my dad will mess you up. Gotta take my balls and run. Yeah, yeah. And I won't miss too much. They don't share a playlist to remind us both of good times. And I'm feeling used, cause for you it was just pure fun. So call me back, don't even try to text. Better meet me back for Uber Black. I said I'll pick you up at 8. You probably won't be awake. Call yourself an Uber, babe.
Hello and welcome to the opening round of the Renault RSO 1 Challenge here at Let Bull Racing, the first race of 2025, the season 5. By God, it's been already 5 seasons here at Let Bull Racing. I still remember the Sim Racing GP days and the first ever standalone championship we ever did back in BTCC. Oh, those years back in, wow, a year ago now, over a year ago now, I think, maybe even 2. Time flies and it's escaping me, but digressing. Sorry for the little bit of delay. We had a small issue with real penalty. It is what it is. It's one of those years. Yes, it will be 2 years soon. Very soon. How the time flies. But anyway, we are back here on track in the wonderful Renault RSO ones around the beautiful circuit of Anadara, created by the Assetto Corsa community renowned creator Double Zero. And we do have a very big grid here for you today. We have 22 drivers out here today that have qualified. We actually had we've gone to such extent that we had to have pre-qualifying for the drivers to attend, otherwise there would be a chaos. We had 47, I believe, drivers on our practice servers, so this has been one of our most anticipated and joined in series to date. So yep, we do have yet to put Brands Hatch on the calendar, possibly in the future. Digressing, what do we have here today? At the moment, what is happening? We are Dani Tsutsui, the defending champion, third different champion here in Let Bull Racing. After Ikemarva's double championship, Victor Bernat, the second champion, and Dani Tsutsui, the first non-Spanish driver to win Let Bull Racing championship. Up until that point, you could be very mistaken to say Spanish buyers here in Let Bull Racing. But digressing from that, and it's going to be a wonderful season up ahead of us. Everybody up on the server has been, oh, it's been competitive to say the least. We had 10 drivers within 1 second of one another on the server, and if you discount Chris Boxall rapid time on with a 1:23.2, there would be even more drivers within 1 second of one another. So it's definitely shaping up to be a very close battle between multiple different teams. We have obviously the Cyanide Academy up on top. We have the Goat Scuderia with Johan Karolczak. We have Victor Bernat and a relatively new driver in our league series, Martin Oliveira. We have Plus Ultra Team Automobilismo, obviously, with Juan Gramash and Ike Marver, the 2 duo. And to battle for the top wins, we have Race League Rising Stars with Giovanni Marcucci, who has been quite rapid in these guys and has been showing some great potential there as well. Not to discount, we also have, I believe that Shilagi, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hungarian names are something that I'm yet to get familiar with, for Sidewinder Motorsport. So we have a wonderful combination of 5 different teams that are set to be battling for the top spot. So there's certainly a lot of, as I say, Mark from Sidewinder Motorsport. So there's certainly a lot of drivers that will be battling for that win. Right, so as I am alone in the commentary booth today, you will be subject to my usual little bit of silence, as I still have to manage a few other methods of communications as well, being commentator and race director at the same time. It's kind of a hard load, but or to balance even. But switching back to the track, what does it tell us? Well, we have the Cyanide 1-2 at the moment with Dani Tsutsui and Chris Boxall with 1:24.418 and 1:24.450. Martin Oliveira closely behind, with Juan Gramash in 4th place. Cole Bradbury, who's been showing up some very good pace as well, in 5th place. Ike Marver P6, Johan Karolczak 7th, Giovanni Marcucci in 8th. Closely behind we have Anno, and now we see the first proper gap between the drivers, 4 tenths between Anno and Alexander Giembler, but I do reckon that gap will go down. Here's our Season 3 champion, Victor Bernat. And then from Alexander we have Andrew Baya, Szymanski, Ruplenes, Luka Jibok, Brandage, Vakuinov. Wyzemniak, Centerobi, and we have Mark and Amelia Jawowicz, our currently only female drivers I'm currently aware of. As just to say that, Mark now puts in the fastest lap time, so from P1 all the way down to P11, we only have 1 second in between all the drivers. This is what I've been saying, it's been extremely competitive so far. So, should we go on board with somebody? Let's go on board with the defending champion, who is currently leading, or in the first sector, going absolutely fastest. So, riding on board. This is the last sector now. So, Danny Tatsui, purple first and middle second. Now, this is the chicane that does make and break a lot of laps. And what I've been told, the secret to that is you just have to let the car fly. You have to let the car fly over the curbs and pray and hope that of course, physics are kind to you. What will it be? Ooh, it's a P1 with a 124.141. Now, this is what I've been saying. If you nail the final chicane, that's where you gain or lose a lot of time. And you have to really hop over that last curb, praying to hope that you're staying within the track limits, and on landing, you're still good. So, after the first chicane, we're going into the second heavier braking zone. And from what we've seen in our test race, this is a very good... Danny's already 2 times up. This is a very good point to sneak your nose up the inside of somebody and do a cheeky little move into that little hairpin. Coming out of it, you have a very wide left-hander. Keeping within the track limits, Chris Boxall pulls over after giving a little bit of slipstream. And Danny Tatsui already making his way into 123s. It will definitely be interesting to see what the qualifying session will show us. 4.5 minutes left, and we've seen this section before, so on the last lap, let's see if there's any difference that Danny makes. Brakes the car in the straight line, most optimal. Opts not to just hop over that curb. As Martin Oliveira goes second place. And Danny Tatsui, it's 1:23.753. That is a blisteringly quick lap time, as Alexander Giembler puts himself up to P10 with 1:24.9. Ooh, Mark isn't looking too good for his lap time. Let's see, who do we have that is on a relatively quick lap time? Chris Boxall is improving in the first sector after the first couple of corners. So the sector sprint line should be just after this corner. Let's see what he's doing. Chris Boxall is 2.5 tenths down, but he's on a personal best. Driver up ahead, Mark, is not improving at the moment. Anybody else on a hot lap time? Johan Karolczak is up on an improvement. So is Giovanni Marcucci. So Marcucci could be moving himself up a little bit. I do expect him to be training in the 124s mid at the very least. As Chris Boxall sets the fastest middle sector, pulls a little bit back to Danny Tatsui. Now the chicane. The chicane is where Chris has been 2 tenths faster than absolutely everyone. So let's see if he manages to pull back any lap time. As you can see, he just nails that first curb and lets the car fly, tries to get the landing, runs all the way wide. Here is his teammate up ahead. And let's see, what will it be? Chris Boxall 3 tenths up currently. And it's a 1:24.117, not quite in the 123s, but puts himself second place alongside his teammate and just ahead of Victor Bernat. Now here's Amelia out on, I believe it's the first proper lap. No, it's still on her out lap. So she's got 1, potentially 2 more chances to get the lap right. And Wyzemniak, Raini's Wyzemniaks. Let's go look up and down the field. We have Cole Bradbury on a personal best, on a little bit of an improvement. In fact, just caught him as his improvement dwindled away slightly. But let's see what Cole can do. It's not looking too great, so I think there's a little bit of a mistake somewhere from Cole. We'll have to look back further as Juan Gramash is on a personal best lap time. So let's see if he can close himself up to where we know he is capable of driving. So we're entering the final corners of the track with Gramash. So we have the back straight, and the final corners to really nail down is the final chicane. Here's one just right now. So in he goes to the chicane, breaks in the straight line, clobbers that curb just like Chris did. And lost a little bit of time in that middle sector, lost a little bit of time through that chicane. Let's see if it's still an improvement and how much can he improve. So Juan Gramash, it's a 1:24.686. Puts himself just ahead of his teammate, but still behind Martin Oliveira. So currently we have Cyanide Academy 1-2. We've got Scuderia 3-4, Sidewinders in 5th, and alongside Sidewinders we have Plus Ultra Team Automobilismo, with our first independent driver called Bradbury in P8. Martin Oliveira himself is up on a personal best, only 10th and a half down up to absolute fastest. So he's done better in the first sector than Chris has. There is definitely potential for him to snag second place. Daniel Tsutsui is on the lap, but he's not improving. Chris is on the lap time and he is improving. He's done about the same first sector as Chris has. So Martin has to nail the final sector now. Only half a tenth slower than the absolute fastest. Or than Daniel Tsutsui. Where's Chris Boxall? Chris Boxall has gone half a second faster. So they're both neck and neck. Victor Bernard on an improvement itself, but let's see what Martin Oliveira will do across the start-finish line. This is the final lap, mind you. And it's P2 with a 1:23.869 and an absolute fastest final sector. 36.450. Let's see if Chris Boxall can respond. What will it be across the start-finish line? Will it be 1:23? It's a 1:23.954, so Chris Boxall is relegated to second row. Victor Bernard still on a lap time, still on the slow mope improvement. Can he find the 2/10 he needs to dislodge Chris Boxall from second row, or just, well, not really dislodge from the second row, but get ahead of him? Just a chicane left. And on the back straight, as we see, is Emilia Jawovic, who is sitting P18. Very good showing from the Polish driver. And what will it be? It will be 1:24.10. Oh, just a tenth and a half away from dislodging Chris Boxall from that third place. Will start behind his teammate instead, as Chris will start behind his teammate. And we will see Sidewinders 5th place. Juan Gramash takes 6th place. We still have drivers out on the lap. It's Bobby Vakoinov, who is quick driver himself. And that's a finish from them. And that wraps up the qualifying session. So that is, where was I? Juan Gramash P6, Ike Marva in P7, Cole Bradbury takes P8, Bobby will take P9, Johan Karolczak in P10, Alexander Giemble ahead of his teammate Giovanni Marcucci, Anno in 13th place with ahead of his teammate Lucas Santorbi. And look at the gap times that we see from Juan Gramash all the way down to P16 Luca, who is just behind Andrew Bayer. It's just 1 second. That's a lot of drivers within 1 second of one another. Further back we have Szymański in P17, Emilia Jawovic in P18. Again, look at the close gap times with Brandage so close in P19, Vazemnik in P20, and Simas Ruplenas P21 with 1:26.781. Now, I do know, and I am aware that all of these drivers are definitely capable of way faster lap times. Right, so now that we have the drivers, we will have new server popping up. So I will just show you, because we are operating on a race weekend now. Race weekend rule set. So we have to exit and start the servers ourselves. So if you would just excuse me while everything around here is fine. So we're just waiting for the qualifying server to just complete itself and let the results feed into race number 1. So while that is being sorted, I will put you back with music.
Something here has changed. I'm on your side, you are on mine. What if the dam breaks? But if we survive, I know we'll come out stronger in the end. In our hearts we find something that will heal the pain we're in. I'll do what it takes to make you believe. With my heart and hyperdrive, we do what we want, but we're not free. With our hearts on hyperdrive. You don't let them hear you. We're under the radar, day not true. And if we survive, I will never leave your side again. And with our hearts entwined, I know you will heal the pain we're in. Do what it takes to make you believe. Standing by your side, with my heart on hyperdrive. I'll do what it takes to make you believe. With my heart on hyperdrive, we do what we want, but we're not free. With our hearts on hyperdrive.
And we have the lights out. We have just the 10-second counter left on the board. You already know the grid from qualifying. The lights are about to go on. We have 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. I'm gonna go off what the track says. And the lights go out. And we have a fantastic getaway from Danny Tsutsui. A good getaway from Anadara, but Victor Bernard with a blisteringly quick getaway. It was most likely Martin Oliveira, who is himself very slow off the line. Apologies. We have already 1 driver coming out. Who is that? I believe that is Johan Karolczak. Johan Karolczak has been hit in the very first opening lap. The only driver to be hit, but everyone has behaved themselves extremely quickly. Look how much Danny Tsutsui is been gone away from every single driver out here. So I believe most of the chaos should be avoided out here. But this is the other epicenter. That could be. Who is that spinning out the back? That is one of the SFWRT drivers. I believe that is Simas Rupinas and Jay Brandage. So what a Bristol! Well, we had a fantastic start from the drivers. Kept it very much clean. But now we're moving on to the second, or the biggest braking zone, the second biggest braking zone. Cole Bradbury with Juan Gramash up on the inside. Oh well, Cole trying to go around the outside. We're going into the chicane. Cole Bradbury looking for a move on the inside into the chicane. Per chance on Juan Gramash. Thinks better of it. He knows... Well, very deep from Juan Gramash there. Will he be able to stop it in time? Yes, he does. Cole very conservative on the brakes. But this has been an exceptional first lap from all the drivers. We had few squabbles. We had Johan Karolczak, the big driver, losing out on the start. But he's still in the thick of it. So he hasn't lost too much time from the pack. Well, the entire pack here. And Cole now under pressure from Bobby Vakuinov, who is going to try and sneak back under. Three tenths behind, Johan Karolczak making moves towards the back. But at the moment, it seems to be everyone line astern around the Anadara circuit. Now this is the part of the track that I was saying we saw a lot of moves throughout our test race around here. And as you saw, this is probably why Bobby Vakuinov so much further down the track. And we have Amelia. Amelia has spun it around. Not sure whether there was a little bit of contact there. There has been a little bit of a contact with Johan Karolczak. Johan now up to P18 behind Wezemnik, who he was ahead at some point during the race. More squabbling down behind. We have Albert Szymański, 2 LEF Auto Racing drivers. Squabbling for P16. Johan Karolczak moving more spots back in front of Wezemnik. Ooh, we have Luca Santarobi and Andrew Bayer, who currently occupies 10th position. A good point scoring position, mind you. And Anno is spun around. It was a crash with Giovanni Marcucci. And Anno is spun around. Victor Bernard says the fastest lap of the race. Andrew Bayer in the pits. Oh no, that's a disaster for SFWRT driver, who has been in such a wonderful 10th position. That is only ever good news for Johan Karolczak, who only needs to make up 5 more spots to get onto the reverse grid, as Bobby is looking down the inside of Cole Bradbury. Not a place you would see on overtake. That corner is very much on the edge of limits on the car. Will Cole Bradbury fight back? He will attempt to. Down the inside he goes. But Bobby has the traction outside of the corner with the wider line. Allows him to put the power down even further and take that place for certain from Cole Bradbury, who falls to 9th place. Further down, what is happening? We have Alexander Giembler just behind his teammate, serving as the rear gunner, even though he's qualified ahead of him. But Giovanni has been so quick on the practice server, so let's see if he can finally make the leg stretch. Not the kind of leg stretching I was talking about, Alexander. That's stretching of the track limits. But speaking of a stretch, we seem to have the return of last title match between Victor Bernard and Danny Tsutsui. Now, there has been some fireworks flying between them over the pass as Victor pulls out to the outside. Danny Tsutsui runs too deep, and Danny Tsutsui has to take the escape road. So Danny Tsutsui will have to forfeit the place. In fact, he does. So Victor Bernard managed to pressure Danny Tsutsui into a mistake and runs wide. That only puts Mark closer towards them. So we're going to have quite a spicy battle for for the first place, it seems. And Danny Tatsui falling further behind. In fact, Mark sneaks one down the inside. So Danny from leading the race quite comfortably, 7/10, to now falling to 3rd place. In fact, Chris Boxu, who's been setting lap after quick lap on the practice server, had the fastest lap time. Oh, very deep on the brakes. Very well controlled from Danny to take place from Mark. That was a good move. All this squabbling, you now let Martin Oliveira come by. So Gold Scuderia will try to be taking more and more points away from Cyanide. In fact, look at the move by Martin Oliveira down the inside of the chicane. You don't see it much often, considering how awkward it is. Opportunistic move, but well executed. But that has alleviated some pressure from Danny Tatsui, who's now 1.5 seconds behind Victor Bernard, but is allowed to run a little bit more freely. Martin Oliveira will try to put Gold Scuderia 1 and 3, or at least 2 places, on the podium. Now, close behind, we see Chris Boxel in 5th place. Let's ride on board with Martin Oliveira, because I think that could be interesting. Ooh, Mark gets very sideways. Martin has to back out of this to avoid hitting Mark, which could have made things even worse. But Martin opting for safety. But will that entice Chris to try and make a move on Martin? Is the braking zone long enough? No, it seems like it isn't. Again, Martin Oliveira 4 times back. Anything else happening down the field? Seems to be a battle for the 18th place as Andrew Bayer. Oh, I think I know what happened to Andrew Bayer. Andrew Bayer potentially had a drive-through penalty for a jump start. That is potentially what has happened to Andrew Bayer. Right, so this is the closest battle we see on hand. Victor Bernard pulled 2 tenths away from Danny Tatsui. Danny Tatsui not getting the lap times he had from the qualifying session. After putting it on pole position, I believe. I already forgot the qualifying results. Oh, we see swap of positions further down the field. We have Alexander Giemble losing 2 positions, one to Johan Karolczak and Luka Gibok. So Luka in 12th place. Good point scoring positions for LEF Racing. Just ahead we have Race League Rising Stars. Giovanni Marcucci just behind Luka Santobi. He will be looking to try and take that position. 10th place is very crucial here in Letpo Racing. As 10th place grants you a reverse grid pole in the next race. And that's the place that Johan will be oh so wanting to get by. He's doing pretty well. He's up to P13, only 3 more spots. And Johan is in the reverse grid and in prime position to get some good points for Gold Scuderia. So right now, the race is down. We have Alexander Giemble. Oh, Alexander Giemble is off! Alexander Giemble is off. Was that a little bit too much brakes into the final chicane? He was very close to Johan Karolczak. But as it currently stands, Alexander Giemble just moving backwards ever so slowly as the race progresses. Szymanski, final points playing position, just behind Alexander Giemble. We have battles further up and down the field. Danny Tatsui just catching up to Victor Bernard on that last lap. We have Cole Bradbury trying to get onto the back of Ike Marva to fight for that 8th place. Ike Marva just not having the pace that we used to see him back in BTCC days. That Spaniard was on fire with those front wheel drive boxes. Let's see. Martin Oliveira very squirrely. Very loose end from him. Can he get any closer? He was lining himself up for a move into the chicane once again. But he seemed to have gotten a much better exit than Mark. This could be the opportunity that Martin was looking at, well within the slipstream, just a 10th. He should be putting up alongside him. Who is the latest on the brakes? Martin will try to get a much better line through there. Mark very compromised through there, parks the car on the apex and prevents Martin from exploiting the better line that he had. Still one more chance into the following corner. Ooh, but Martin just did not have the correct line, not enough time to line himself up. But he was trying to move around the outside here. Force Mark on the defensive. Some good defensive driving from Mark. This is a driver who had quite a few races under his belt. You can tell. Ooh, and Martin almost losing it over the curbs. We have places up and down the field. We have Giovanni Marcucci changing spots. Going up to that also important 10th place. But look at Centorbi. Will be trying to fight back. He is up aside before the braking zone. Will he outbrake himself? No, he gets the car stopped just in time and retakes that 10th place from Giovanni. Let's stay a little bit on board. And up ahead we have a battle for the lead as well. Oh, look a little bit sideways from that final chicane. Giovanni has a small speed advantage, but I don't think it will be enough. We saw how much of a speed advantage Martin needed to have just to get alongside Mark. Oh, Giovanni very well late on the brakes. Has to take the escape road, and that will... Oh, Giovanni, can he keep it pointed the right way? No, that's a disaster for Giovanni. Oh, Giovanni was doing so well, fighting for that reverse pole position. Disaster. Heart goes out to Giovanni, who has 7.5 minutes to try and put himself up as quickly as many places as he can to get the best possible chance of scoring good points in race 2. All the better for Johan Karolczak, who's only a 1.5 seconds behind Luca. And speaking of 1.5 seconds, well, less than a 1.5 seconds, 2.5 more like. It's Martin Oliveira again. Seems to have lined up a much better run against Mark. This should be quite an easy move. Has the inside for the sweeping right-hander before the final straight. Keeps it just within the line, and it's a drag race to the first corner. Martin Oliveira with the advantage. Has the inside line. Can he get it stopped in time? Doesn't make the same mistake as Danny did, and gets ahead of Mark. Now, can Martin Oliveira pull away and try and put some pressure on Danny Tsutsui? I don't think he'll be able to catch Danny Tsutsui any time soon. They spend too much time battling between one another. But can Mark... Ooh, I was about to say, can Mark keep that 4th place from Chris Boxo? And we have more contact. Contact down the field. Albert Szymanski and Anno had a little bit of a get-together, it seems. Anno trying to get the car spun right around, but has a little bit of a problem. Ooh, that was very close between him and Amelia. Chris not having the speed he needs. It seems like in race spec, Chris is struggling a little bit more than he did in qualifying spec. But what it is further down the field is Johan Karolczak on the way back to reclaim 10th place and that also important reverse grid pole. Let's ride on board. He's only 4 tenths behind. Danny Tsutsui has fallen back from Victor Bernard a little bit more. Was Victor Bernard just nursing? Oh, that's a very deep from Johan Karolczak. That's not going to help him in the move on Luca. That's quite detrimental, one might say, as Alexander Giemble and Luka Gibok switch places. Oh, we see Alexander taking a very defensive line. Luka will try around the outside. Can he do it? Oh no, he breaks himself as well. That's the third driver we have seen on camera that has outbraked himself into that first corner. Unfortunately, we'll have to sit back behind Alexander. Let's stay on board with this fight. Oh, down the inside goes Luca. And lightly nudges Alexander out on the way. And isn't able to keep within the track limits too well on the exit. Now can Alexander fight back? What else is happening out on the track? We have a three-way battle for the final points paying positions. As Giovanni now already up into P14 ahead of Simonas Ruplenas. And Andrew Bayer, after that drive-through penalty, is trying. They just spotted this little gap ahead as Chris Boxall. No can do for Chris. He's going to lose a ton of time. Speaking of losing a ton of time, Andrew Bayer, oh, contact! And there's contact as Simonas Ruplenas spins. Disaster for the Lithuanian driver, who was looking to secure first points on the first race. And again, Ike Mave being pressured by Cole Bradbury. He's gonna have to sit back again. As we see Johan Karolczak and Luka going toe to toe once again. Round the outside, he's gonna try. Will he be able to switch back, or at least try and get a better drive? He might be able to. It looked like he just lost a little bit too much grip on the tires. Potentially traction control kicking in a little bit too much. But how much closer Johan gets on the brakes, the confidence he has. Seems whatever he's doing on the brakes, he's doing much better than Luca. Luca with a slide, he's leaving a door wide open. They're gonna go side by side into the chicane. Ooh, this is gonna end poorly, and it has ended poorly. Lucas Centrobi gets a little bit too much grass and goes out. Ooh, that was the only outcome I could have foreseen. Was it fair? Was it not? Did Johan push him out too wide? Did Johan leave enough space? That is questions for later. Definitely questions for the stewards room, who will definitely be talking many, many hours over that incident. As Albert Szymanski, trying to fight for that final point paying position, takes it into the chicane. Can he make it? He gets the car stopped in time. Avoided the mistake that so many drivers make. But Albert Szymanski in final point paying position, just ahead of Andrew Bayer. What else is happening out on the track? This battle is still raging on. Let's ride on board with Andrew. He's got the slipstream. Has to back out, unfortunately. But that's going to cost him the chance for that to retake that final place. As Daniel Tsutsui says the fastest lap time, closes up 4/10 to Victor Berner, but he's still just over 1 second behind. Oh, Chris Boxall spins! Chris Boxall has spun. Was there contact? No, it seems like... Let me just have a quick little refresh on timings. No, I don't see anything. Maybe just lost a little bit of control, but Chris Boxall falls down to P7. In fact, there may have been. Mark has been... Mark is now in P6 as well. Oh, shame we didn't see that on film. But already we're starting with a little bit of a controversial race. As we see, we will most likely have one more lap, as Bobby and Juan are now battling against one another. Bobby retaking 4th place. Martin Rivera should be pretty quick. We have a bit more... We have few more... well, hitting one another. Further back, Alexander and Luca coming together, giving Alexander that 11th place, and Luca Centorbi the 12th place. but Bobby secures 4th place from Juan. There's still one more lap remaining. Victor Bernard is now just crossing the start-finish line. 1:24.166, just slower than the half a tenth slower than absolute fastest lap time. 1:24.0. Martin Oliveira with the fastest lap point. And it looks like Bobby will keep that 4th place for now. There's still another chance for Juan to take back. He just needs to nail the lines and get as close to the back of Bobby as possible. But at the moment, we have Goat Scuderia first. We have Cyanide Academy in second. Goat in third. Sidewinder Motorsport in 4th. And Plus Ultra Team Automobilismo in 5th. 4 different teams in top 5. More contact with Luca. Luca and Luca are getting together. And it seems like Juan will be just outside the striking range. And it seems like they'll be outside the striking range for the 2 Lucas as well. So let's go back with Victor Bernard, who is coming around nice and gracefully, calmly and safely on the start-finish straight to win the first race and try and retake the crown from Danny Tsutsui. His ex-teammate Victor Bernard wins the first race of our Renault RS01 Challenge. Danny Tsutsui comes home second. Victor's teammate comes home to make it double podium for Goat Scuderia as Bobby takes 4th place away from Juan Gramage. As Mark and Chris Boxall come 6th and 7th. There will be a little bit of talking, and these final stands will most likely change. As Cole comes on 8th, Ike Marver, final Plus Ultra Team Automobilismo driver in 9th place. Johan Karolczak rounding out the top 10, gets the reverse grid pole for Goat Scuderia. Alexander Gambler, the first of Race League Rising Stars, comes home 11th. Luca Santorbi for CN Wazoo Windmill Racing, ahead of another Luca, the first for LEF Auto Racing. Some good points for the drivers. Albert Szymański on the debut takes more points for LEF Auto Racing as Andrew Bayer takes the first points for SFWRT. Simonas Rupelas comes home in P16. Amelia Jawovic in 17th place. We have Wojemnieks for SF in 18th. Anno coming across 19th. Jay Brandish will come across 20th, and Giovanni will unfortunately come across 21st after a quite a unfavorable race result. My heart goes out to Giovanni, who had so much definitely potential there. But that is the end of race 1, and as a result we should have a reverse top 10 grid. So in the first race we should see Johan on pole alongside Ike Marve. Cole and Chris will take 3rd and 4th, Mark and Juan in 5th and 6th, Bobby Martin in 7th, 8th, and Danny and Victor 9th and 10th. Don't go away yet, there is still race 2, but that has been a wonderful first race, and well done to all the drivers for keeping it so clean in the first race. But until we switch the service, I will keep you back and let you enjoy some more music. Hello and welcome to race 2. Apologies for that small little delay. We just had a small little issue with our race preparations. It doesn't really, hasn't really been quite the way that we have expected it to run, but we are now back. We're still having a small issues, but we are 15 seconds from the lights going out for second race of today's round here at Anadara at the season opener for season 5 of Leadpool Racing. So 6 lights going out and they are away. We have a little bit of a issue down the back, but most of the drivers seem to be going just fine. Let's see how the turn 1 goes. Most of the drivers making it through just fine. Ooh, there's a little bit Seamas going across the grass. Manages to avoid most of the people. Jan Karolczak still managing to retain the lead, but is getting pressured from Ike Marva into the next corner. Everything's working fine. Yeah, everything's working fine. He still keeps ahead of Ike. Ike going wide. Ooh, almost loses it. Let's see how the rest of the pack goes through. A lot of argy-bargy there, but mostly everybody making it through just fine. Oh, we have a little spin. Alexander Giemble spins the car around. I believe that was self-inflicted there. Johan Karolczak under pressure from Ike Marva has the better drive. Ike has snuck his nose in. No, we have a driver out in the back. That's Victor Bernat. Victor Bernat is out in the gravel. Oh, that's a disaster for Goat Scuderia. Race 1 winner in the gravel. So Johan Karolczak retakes first place ahead of Ike Marva into the final chicane. They go side by side. Mark goes skidding across the track. Thankfully, just hits the barrier instead of sliding all the way across into the path of other drivers. A little bit more chaos down into the final chicane. Simonas and Mark still involved. Ryan is trying to meander his way around as Bobby pressures Juan Gramash again for 5th place. We have a repeat of the first round, but for a few different positions. Around the outside he goes. Juan goes deep on the defensive. Gets just ahead of Bobby Vakuinov. Lucas Santorbi has a jump start, it seems. Lucas Santorbi drive-through penalty for jump starting. As we see drivers further down the field, Victor Bernard has been hit by a huge amount of time loss. 4 seconds behind 18th place. See Martin Oliveira, 3rd place in the first race. How does it go? We have, where's Danny? Danny is out down in 11th place, so outside of the top 10. As we see Mark trying to regain the positions he's lost during that final chicane. Danny Tsutsui in 11th place, and we will definitely see what Victor Bernat can do from this second race. And Mark regaining position from Alexander Giemble for the 12th place. That will be a very interesting to watch Mark and his progression in this race. He's definitely a driver who could battle for race wins. At the moment, it's Cole Bradbury once again pressuring Ike Marva. Now, we had a little bit of a communication behind. Johan says the fastest is, but it's Cole Bradbury who retakes that fastest lap. Cole had to fuel save on the last race. That's why he wasn't able to make his way by Ike. And making way is Chris Boxall, who tries to make an audacious, opportunistic move on Cole Bradbury. Is he going to go side by side through that right-hander? Cole has to take to the grass. And Chris makes his way, actually drives around the outside of Cole to retake 3rd place, the final podium from Cole. And further behind, there's a Bobby Vukov going sideways. It's Bobby Vukov going sideways. Oh, disaster. He's been driving extremely well. Unfortunately, relegated down to 7th place through that mistake. Promoting Juan into 5th place for a battle on that 4th place against Cole Bradbury. Johan Karolczak is definitely hoping that Ike will make Chris's life misery so he can retake another win for Goat Scuderia. More positioning downstairs as Luka tries. Oh, Luka pushing Bobby Vakuinov out of the track, not really leaving a car with room there. And again, Bobby into the chicane. Luka going very deep. That should be an easy move. Sealed by Bobby. Getting much better exit out of that chicane against Luka. And speaking of making some moves... Oh, I spoke too soon. Luca is making another move, trying to fight back against Bobby. But Bobby taking the inside line. Luca has to concede for the time being. Down to Tsui sets the fastest lap of the race thus far, but he's still right at the back of this train. First quarter of the race has gone by. Chris Boxall only 3/10 behind as Andrew Bayer makes his way by Luca. And Luca tries to fight back into the hairpin, and Andrew Bayer goes wide, extremely wide. Down to Tsui might get 2 places here, but no, Luca keeps 8th place. Andrew Bayer stays in 9th. Down to Tsui moves up 1 place, but he's now in a prime opportune position to try and get a 2-for-1 deal. Look at that 3 wide lane contact! Andrew Bayer coming back across the left. Seems to be struggling a little bit. Car going side to side. And hits Danny. Luckily, no major incident has occurred there, because I don't think that would have been too good. As Luca trying to make 2 moves, attempted to, unfortunately spins out. So that's what was happening further down the field. But let's go ahead. We have Chris Boxall on Ika Marava. Ika, will he be able to fight back? Ooh, very early on the brakes from Ika. Chris was miles down the road with that braking move. And now it's Juan, Ika's teammate, right behind. Will Ika move over to allow Juan by and try and fight Chris? I'm sure that's what Johan might be hoping. Now Ike is very deep on the brakes. He's going to try and square that corner off. Try to focus on the exit and get as close by to Chris as possible. But Chris just gets a much better drive out of the corner. Further down the field we have Luca and Danny. Ooh, a little bit sideways for that. That might cost a little bit top speed for Danny. But he has the shortest line. He is alongside. Will he be late on the brakes? Ooh, quite a bit late on the brakes. Boxes Luca in, not to allow him to run wide. And Danny takes 8th place from Luca. Next driver up the field is Bobby. Victor Bernard just catching up to P17. Oh, not the race 2 that Victor was hoping for. Now we see Johan Karolczak 125.2, Chris Boxall 124.9. So 3/10 Chris has managed to catch up to the back of Gold Scuderia. And we have a few more moves down the field. Andrew Bayer down to P11. Oh, a little bit of contact there from Andrew Bayer and Mark Shilagi. Mark has to take the evasive action or risk being run out. But very sloppy from Andrew Bayer, who is still occupying a very good point-paying position. At the moment we have 1 driver DNFing. We have Jay Brandage. Victor Bernard moving up a few spots. Vejemnik loses a few spots. Juan Gramage, ooh, very close to the back of Ikemara there. And look at Martin just jumping over those curbs like a kangaroo. Are you sure the Portuguese flag is correct here? And it should not be an Australian flag. Look how close he is onto the back of Cole. And I certainly know that Johan will be hoping for Martin to make quick moves ahead of these battling drivers. Oh, opportunistic Juan Camaramas comes across the track, just barely manages to stay ahead of Martin Oliveira. Hampers his move a little bit, as Juan and Ike continue to battle for the final podium playing pace. Juan down the inside, Martin following suit. Can he make a move? Ika, does he have the traction around the outside? No, Juan regains the place. Or does he? Ika is still side by side. And he's going to be catching up quick. Will they make it 3 wide into the penultimate corner? Effectively. Look at the gap times. Martin around the outside. A little bit of contact between Iker and Juan. Juan blocks Martin from making any further advances with that half spin. And Martin isn't able to use the... screen just went black. Isn't able to capitalize and even make a move on Iker. Oh, but Iker and Martin, seems like there was a little bit get together. I was trying to click on the right person, but I was unable to. Now side by side, Bobby is now in the 4th place, chasing Juan Gramage. And Martin Oliveira has just fallen back to 7th place. What would have been a great charge to go and try and help his teammate Johan Karolczak in the battle for the 1st place. After the woes that Victor has been through at the start of the race, unfortunately he has been severely hampered. And it's now Plus Ultra Team Automobilismo who is the final team on the podium. Half of the race left. Martin goes to the inside on Chris. Still manages... Cole managing to regain the place with just a calm drive around the outside. And look who's onto the back of this pack. It's Danny Tsutsui, the defending champion. I believe the first driver to utilize the number 1 on his car. Victor Bernat making moves down the back of the field, trying to get into some points paying positions. Still got 6 seconds to make up. Now Iker Marve is still in good points, top 5 points. Bobby is just ahead of him, splitting the Spaniard duo. Ooh, sideways from Iker. Will that allow Cole a little look down the end of the straight? He is closing up. He does have the slipstream effect. Let's see, where will Iker make? Oh, where will Iker go even? Ooh, it looks like Iker allows Cole on down the inside. Cole takes the place, makes the corner a little bit sideways, you might say. Cole keeping the car under control, takes the place from Iker Marvel. Will Iker be able to fight back? Might not be able to. He has Martin Oliveira. Trying to do sell a little dummy onto the back of Iker. Look how close they are. Millimeters ahead. And Martin will try and make a lunge. Contact! Martin Oliveira nudges Iker out of the way. A little bit naughty if you ask me. But that demotes Iker down to P8. Behind Danny Tsutsui. Johan Karolczak still managing to keep ahead of Chris Boxall. Now this track can be difficult to pass in certain places. So Johan has the advantage here, if he can keep it nice and steady. Oh, a little bit sideways through that final chicane. And looks like Johan may have just found his match. Round the outside he goes. Chris Boxall with the inside line. And he won't give it back. Oh, but Chris goes extremely deep. That's going to force him off the line, and that's going to allow Johan to go right by. Johan regains the lead. Does Chris have enough speed? No, Chris does not have enough speed to try and fight Johan back. He has to sit back. But he's going to try and make a move anyway. And Johan shows in the curb by Chris. Oh, Chris just had a little bit of a slide. Johan giving him the minimum space he definitely thought he required. But Johan keeps first place. Fantastic driving between the two. What is happening further down the field? We have Cole falling back a little bit from Bobby. Martin Oliveira still trying to make his way by. Iker falling back massively and into the fangs of Mark. But let's stay behind this battle for the lead, because this will certainly not be the last time these two go head to head. Oh, Johan very deep into the final chicane. Couldn't get the car stopped in time. Ooh, sideways from Chris. And in fact loses a little bit of speed as a result. Oh, Cole is in the wall. Cole is off the track. So that leaves Martin Oliveira and Danny Tsutsui side by side. More contact. More drama. More controversy. My live timings is not updating. Dainzetsui takes that spot from Martin, but we know Martin. He is a very... Well, how should I put it? Creative guy when it comes to overtaking maneuvers. That's not in any maze to say he's a dirty driver, but he definitely is able to sniff out an opportunity, no matter how small, and make it clean. And it looks like Mark and Ika, Mark has been able to get by Ika. And I just saw the comms, and it looks like Jay Brandage had to retire the car. We don't know for what reason yet, but that is what happened to Jay Brandage. And still this battle for first place rages on. Chris Boxer goes early on the brakes. And again, Johan not really using the curbs. And that allows Chris a good chance to switch back. Johan Krolczak dips back inside to try and gain that slipstream and fight Chris back. And again, Chris goes deep on the brakes. Will he be able to make it stick this time? He's able to make it stick, but can Johan fight back this time around? Parking it on the apex. No bueno this time. It looks like Chris will retake the lead. 4 minutes from the end of the race. But let's see if Chris is able to drive away from Johan. Or will Johan be able to still snitch victory from this? This will be his best opportunity, because once Chris gets to that chicane, he will be long gone. So let's see. No, I think this will be over. This race, unless Chris makes a mistake, which could happen. We have seen Chris in the last race have a little bit of a mistake. How is Victor Bernard? Victor Bernard is just 1 second behind the final points paying position. And again, Johan avoiding the curbs. You can see all the drivers behind just launching themselves using that curb. And look at that, Chris Boxer 7/10 ahead. We have 2 laps remaining. This will be the penultimate lap. So Johan still with a good point scoring positions for Gold Scuderia. Dainzetsui in P5 chasing Bobby and Juan. Juan managed to keep ahead of Bobby. Dainzetsui with the fastest lap point. And Ko is back onto the back of Ike. Ike not having the race he thought he would be having. Now let's see if Ko is able to make his way by the 2-time LPR champion. Now that he did not underfuel the car. Two minutes left on the clock. Let's see. Ooh, I don't think Ko will be close enough. I think the most interesting battle will be for the 3rd place. I reckon if Bobby and Juan keep themselves busy, they could forget about 2nd place. That is just up ahead. You can see. They can see the 1st place as well. 1st place driver Chris just ahead of them. Dainzetsui behind them chasing. Bobby just snagging that slipstream. I don't think he'll be quite close enough. 124.4 from Chris. 125.3 from Johan. 124.6 from chasing Juan. This is the final lap. Oh, and Bobby tried on the brakes. Extremely deep he went. And we see Victor and Albert exchanging some places. Now this is the final lap for Victor to make his way into the top 15. Ike Marve is off. And his Ike Marve has been off. Was there a little bit of contact? No, there doesn't seem to be contact. Nothing has come up on my live timings, but was it Ika losing ground and is now down into P10, sorry. Victor trying looking for the inside move, was not close enough. There's a little bit of sound of gravel from the ear shot. Couldn't tell you who that was. Now Victor has few good chances. This is not a very good chance here, but it is an opportunity if he can make the right moves. Oh, contact! There's a little bit of contact there. Luckily, Szymanski was able to regain control of the car and stays ahead. More contact! Looked like Albert just trying to slow down a little bit too much. Now here's a good opportunity for the move. Let's check the move before we go back to the finishing line. Victor Bernard manages to get on by. Let's quickly go back. Chris Boxer wins the race in P1st. Johan takes P2. P3 for Juan Gramage. P4 for Bobby. Daniel Tsui takes P5. P6 for Martin Oliveira. Mark takes P7. Cole P8. Luca in P9. Ike takes P10. Just ahead of Andrew Bayer, who almost took P10 away from Ike Marva. Anno takes P12. Alexander Giemble in P13. Amelia Jawovic takes her first place points in P14, and Victor Bernard will regain at least some points this race with a P15 finish. Albert Szymanski, this draw will unfortunately be just outside the points paying position. Look at Santorbi in P17, Simas Ruplenas in P18, and Vezemnieks takes P19. Wow, what a race this was here today. Right, so this has been a absolutely wonderful race, and it's been a wonderful race. A lot of people have behaved themselves. We had some very clean racing here today, especially in the opening rounds of the lap. My heart goes out to the people who have been affected by this. Giovanni, I know, has been unfortunately affected by some technical issues. I would have loved to see him, what he could do. Definitely a driver who I can see fighting for the podium places. Johan, who had been on the receiving end last round, but it paid off in race 2 with a second place and fighting for that win. Victor Bernard in this race in P15. Daniel Tsui has been affected as well, but it has been very, very interesting battles, some very good battles. The track's not very easy to pass. Hopefully the next track in Argentina will certainly be we'll certainly hope to bring way more. Right, so who do we have? We have let's see if we can bring any race winners here today. So, as I was saying, the winners and podiums get the first dibs. Thank you to everyone who's raced. As let me just put you back to this so you don't watch this whole thing behind. By the way, what you're watching here is livery reviews by 3 of the teams. We have livery reviews by Race League Rising Stars, livery review by Cyanide Racing, which is the Cyanide production, and livery review by WN Windmill Racing, I believe. Right, so let's get our first podium sitter, Daniel Tsui, who has finished just behind his now ex-teammate Victor Bernard in race 1 in second place and had his first share of incidents in second race.
Hello. Yeah, it was a fun race, I would say. Lovely car to drive. Unexpected pole position. Definitely did not thought before the race that I could be fighting for poles, that I could be fighting for the wins. Victor got the best out of me in race 1. Did a small mistake. went off the road, and from there on tried to put the pressure on, but too many mistakes.
Definitely,
Uh,
Victor is not the driver you want to be making mistakes in front of him. He will exploit them
Definitely
mercilessly.
not. He will exploit every single mistake you do, and he'll definitely go for it, which he did today, and fair enough.
There was some
Race
fantastic.
2,
Oh, sorry to cut you. I was just saying there was some fantastic racing happening in that first race. Just want to say to you, at the beginning, it would seem like you have managed to just get away, but you were just clawed back. But there was certainly some amazing racing happening.
yeah, I was in a way alone in racing in race 1. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, some drivers sent it down the inside, and then I took it back a couple corners later. Can't remember who that was, but race 2 where was all of the fun happened for me.
Yeah, it has seemed. I'm not sure what has happened to you or Victor. All I just saw was Victor in the gravel, you in P11, and I'm like, what did happen at the race start that I have missed?
Was it me and Victor? I have no idea who I had that incident with. It's just a lap 1 misjudgment of others in front of me. Whoever was in front of me slowed down massively into the fast corner and couldn't do anything. Hopefully, it won't get reported. I haven't looked at what
This is
happened.
lap one
Maybe.
incident, so all lap one incidents get reviewed.
Oh, right. Yeah,
You may have to sit this judging out this round.
and then yeah, after that, it was just quite a good race actually. I was setting fastest laps up after fastest laps. I think I got fastest lap in both races.
I think you got it in
Uh
the second race. I think the fastest lap in the first went to Martin Oliveira.
oh, did they do a 23?
I am not too sure. Let me double check.
I'm
If I,
pretty sure I'm the only driver who went into the 23s
yeah, no,
during the race.
it was Martin Oliveira in the fastest lap with 1:24.08. Your fastest lap in race one was 1:24.1.
Yeah, and then 23.8 or something like that in race 2.
That is definitely something
Well,
that can be checked. Let me just double check. The results are in. So the fastest lap in race two was, yeah, 1:23.9 from you.
not bad.
So yeah, not bad. But again, as somebody who's helping us out, this has been a fantastic start to this season with so many drives. I'm most, what should I say, pleasantly surprised is how clean people have kept it in the opening lap comparatively
Well,
to what it could be.
let's remember the Ginettas. Kalami turn 1 was the same in race 1. And then
I
after
think
round 2, everything went to chaos
Oh, I
on race
definitely think
start.
that Kailami was a little bit worse than what we see here. I think I imagine 5-6 car pileup in Kailami.
No, but race 1 at Kalami, you were surprised on how clean it is, and then race 2, we all went to shit.
Race 2 here was certainly clean as well. Oh,
Yeah, well, cleanish.
yeah,
I don't
as
know.
clean as you can with sim drivers. But well, some very good points for
Cyanide, yeah.
Cyanide Racing, and it seems like it's a very competitive grid this season.
It is a very competitive grid. I would say the setup is, despite having more choice than with the setup on the Ginettas, I think it's finding the right meta and finding the right setup for this car is definitely a lot harder than what it used to be with the Ginettas.
Oh
With the
yeah,
Ginettas, we used
outs.
to find the meta, and
We
from
bel
there on,
I believe we unlocked the wheel alignment in Geneta, so you could change camber and toe.
yeah, and that had a much better effect than whatever we have with this car, with the setup. But yeah, it's nice to see a more competitive grid uh, from a fan perspective, but not from a driver's perspective.
You wanted another easy trophy, did you?
Hell yeah. Well,
Well,
at least I added to my Pulse collection, so that's a nice surprise.
well, Well, you will have to work for it this time, it seems, especially against your teammate and the other teams that are here. But digressing, hope you enjoyed this round. And are you looking forward to next round in Argentina? If you can race with, I know with your new timing, it might be difficult.
Um, I have no idea. Usually about a week before, like on Saturdays, we get a schedule. So yeah, I'm not looking for the title this season. Maybe looking forward to finish maybe in the top five with a couple of races that I'll be able to race in. But what I can say is that I'll probably miss like more than half the calendar, which is a shame. But yeah, that's how life is.
All right. Well, thank you for racing and digressing. Yes, digressing is my absolute favorite word. Digressing from that. Thank you, Danny, and hope to see you in 2 weeks. Timetable permitting. Any final words?
Uh, no, thank you, sir.
Right. Off you go back to Brazil. And in the meantime, I will be bringing Andrew Bayer, who had an unfortunate race one with a drive-through penalty, but has finished quite strong in the second race, almost making it to top 10.
Yes, indeed. Um, I gotta say, these races were a lot, in many different ways. Um, I was a bit stressed going into it due to something else that I had to do quickly before the race actually started. And then, well, of course, I accidentally jumped the start. I was like, fuck me. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the first race could have been just as good as the second one if I hadn't jumped the start. And there was a bit of contact as well, but I did my best to try and do what I could. I will say I'm probably still better off than my teammates, who clearly didn't have such a great time.
Yeah, there has been. You have brought some good points to SFWRT, and I want to check. Yeah, the only driver from your team at the moment who has brought points for SFWRT. But not to discount your teammates, there has been quite a few snippets of pace from your teammates. I certainly think that Jay Brandage is
Mhm.
capable of scoring points this season.
I mean, he has actually switched to a wheel recently, and I definitely think he can do it. He can pull it off. I would more say that I don't know. From experience, this car and this track just they don't get along well. It's like, but you do something wrong, the track doesn't tell you what to do. It's like, I don't know, you go figure out yourself or whatever. At least that's what I think. And sometimes it understeers, sometimes it oversteers. It's like a roll of the dice every time you go into a corner. It's frustrating to say the least.
Well, next
But I
track.
am very much looking forward to the other tracks, which I think are probably a lot more fun, especially the ones from Gran Turismo.
Indeed, we definitely try to get some tracks from Gran Turismo, especially Lago Maggiore, because I think that is the absolute
Mhm.
epitome of Gran Turismo design.
Certainly.
We did
I
try to
mean,
get more Gran Turismo tracks in, but the track has been chosen by committee. This is what we believe is the strongest calendar.
mhm.
Certainly,
In
Dragon
any
Trail would be a wonderful addition.
I was about to say, I would definitely love to see Dragon Trail next time around because it just works, right?
Certainly.
Especially after,
S-
especially after the latest CSP update, which seems to have fixed this the weird issue of some cars just doing kick flips over curves and bumps due to the bump stops being off or whatever. They don't seem to do that anymore in all cases. So and I know that some cars had some issues there. So
Speaking
if they
of
had it previously, they definitely don't do it now. Have those issues now.
speaking of
So
next tracks, we are racing at Termas de Rio Hondo in Argentina,
mm,
and that is certainly a longer track for starters,
mm.
but it's a much flatter, wider, with more open corners. So it's definitely a track where you could certainly go six wide.
Oh yeah. I'm sure that's an interesting. I've never heard of a track myself, but after what has happened here, I'm definitely looking forward to anything else.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
certainly. Do want to get your opinions as this season seems to have brought a much more competitive grid. Whether it is due to the car, whether it is due to everyone stepping up the game, or
mhm.
whether it is due to the setup that has been provided. Like, regardless of the reason, it is a extremely competitive grid this season.
Indeed. I mean, I was feeling it. I was like, what? P15 in qualifying? What is? Oh, out of like 22 drivers, I guess. Yeah, it definitely is a lot more competitive, and I was feeling that, especially in qualifying.
22
I know I
drivers
could
with
have.
like 22 drivers with a tenth between most of them.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely quite far off from my absolute fastest stuff. I'm not quite sure how I was even able to do that. I just kind of did it. So yeah, I could have done better, but in the end, it's what it is. There's nothing changing that.
It is definitely, it is what it is. But certainly looking forward to see what SFWRT is able to bring
Mhm.
to the next season. It seems like you guys are capable of fighting for the top 10 finishes, and
Definitely.
certainly going to be interesting what the team championship is going to look like this season. Have you already
Mm.
spotted your any potential rivals?
Potential rivals, honestly, I'm not sure, but I know from experience that I've always found it quite enjoyable to race against Anno. Maybe not necessarily as a rival, but just as, you know, a returning driver. But I just like driving against. I mean, um, we had it this time again. It just seems to be a kind of recurring tendency that I'd to end up in battles with Anno. So I'm probably looking forward to that.
Oh, fantastic to hear. And yeah, any final words from you, Andrew?
Um, Not really, actually. I don't have much more to say other than I'm looking forward to what's ahead. And yeah, I hope we do well this season in spite of all the competitiveness.
Indeed. Well, thank you for racing, Andrew, and we certainly hope to see you in 2 weeks in Argentina.
Indeed. See you around.
Right, see you around. Let's bring in Cole Bradbury, our best finishing independent driver, finishing strongly within top 10 in both races. How are you doing, Cole? And happy to finally see you out on track after so many times you said you'll be racing.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I've just struggled to find the time and like sometimes the will to do it, but I was like, you know what, let's have some fun for once. I haven't been doing much league racing for a while, and honestly, quite surprised with how well I got on today.
Indeed, two P8 finishes, and you certainly were pressuring up for that top 5 finishes, going up against two-time champion Ike and Juan. Two good mates of you that you used to race all the time back in sim racing GP days.
Yeah, it felt like a blast from the past almost. Like I've raced people for many years, and it's like they got quicker, but now I'm quicker again. It's like it's
The,
going to be interesting to see what happens really this season.
the natural progression, indeed. And I'm certainly hoping that you'll be here with us for majority of the season.
I definitely will try to at the pace I have, and I should have a livery in by next round. So
Fantastic to hear. You still going independent? Or are you thinking of joining any of the other teams or starting your own
I'm
team?
likely sitting independent. I'll see if I have other people I know wanting to join there. We'll see.
Well, it certainly would be more than welcome to. We have an extremely competitive grid this season.
Indeed.
Fantastic. And how did you? Are you enjoying these cars? Are you enjoying these tracks and Anadara and these cars in
Anadara was
general?
a weird one with the car because the car likes understeer, but after a point the fronts give up. So you had to figure out an interesting way of making the car drive around it, which was actually quite enjoyable for the race.
All right. So tell me a little bit more on the track. I have seen quite a few. You mentioned that in race one you underfueled the car a little bit, and that's what stopped you from attacking Ike, quite potentially costing you a few places in that first race, especially against Ike.
Well, I realized, like, I saw it before the race, people talking about the fuel numbers, and I was like, I honestly don't know. I haven't done a proper fuel calculation. So I ended up putting in, I think, like 51, 52 liters, but I noticed very quickly, hang on, I'm probably not going to have enough here. So I ended up lifting and coasting for like at the end of every straight possible. And somehow with that, I was still keeping with Juan or Ike, whoever was in front of me that race. And I was like, hang on, have I just figured out a flow or something? What works with this track by lifting and coasting? So I just stuck with them the best I could most of the race. It's quite fun.
Yeah, certainly. You definitely had the pace of Juan and almost on the same pace as Mark. So I definitely think without that underfueling, there was a potential of you for a top 5 finish there.
There definitely was in race two. It's kind of upsetting, but we'll see further on. I still want to hunt for a top five. I haven't ever had one, I think, since we started actually doing proper leagues. So it'll be interesting to see if I can get a top 5.
Certainly,
But-
I reckon if you put a few more laps in, I reckon you could even battle for the podium places.
Thank you.
No worries, but hope to see in the future. And are you looking forward to Rio de Honda?
It's a track I've never heard before, never driven. Let's see.
It will definitely be interesting. Like I said before, it's a track that you can easily fit 6 wide on.
Oh my god. I'm scared now, but the more fun the merrier, I guess.
Yeah, the crazier the merrier. Well, thank you for joining us, Cole. And like I said, hope to see you more frequently in our league races.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, you take care of yourself. Any final words from yourself?
Not really, just everyone enjoy the racing hopefully this season.
Indeed. Well, I will see you in 2 weeks' time. And let's bring back Anna, who is currently live streaming to people the incidents that has been happening. You signed up for the interviews, and now it's your turn. How was that for you? I know you had quite a interesting race 1, but a race 2, some good points for Wazoo Windmill.
Yeah, first race didn't really go my way. I had one incident, and the thing about incidents is, once you have one, it gets real easy to have more. So they just kind of stacked up and sent me all the way back to P20, but I finished. But yeah, I'm glad I managed to. Well, I managed to get a lot of positions back right after the start of race 2. So quite happy about that. And yeah, and had some good racing once again at the end with Bayer.
Yeah, it seems like you and Luca just switched positions in the 2 races. Luca went P12 in the first race, and you went P12 in the second race.
Yeah, yeah. It seems that our luck was quite different. Though I do not believe that Luca enjoyed the race quite as much as I have. But that is for him to say.
Speaking
when-
of
when-
Luca, let's bring Luca in since you two are
Of course.
you two are teammates.
Oh,
Hello, Luca. From the sounds of it, you had quite a interesting race yourself.
Oh, God.
But the question for both of you: are you guys surprised with the competitiveness that this season has begun with?
I'll leave it to you, Anna.
I mean, no, not really. It was quite obvious that it was going to be very competitive from the lap times we saw in the practice server. People are just. I seem to be enjoying this car, putting a lot of effort into it, and yeah, it does also seem to create some close lap times, and perhaps it was a bit closer than I expected in the race itself due to the different conditions on the race server compared to practice, catching quite a lot of people off guard.
That's a good point. Would you, in your mind, prefer something like that to spice up the racing and maybe the order just a little bit to add a form of excitement and opportunities?
To be honest, I do not think it is needed in this case. The grid is already quite close, and while it catching people off guard can compress the field, but it can also create chaos, create incidents very easily.
Yeah, I would say the same. With I am more for it as, of course, practicers. You can't just put in hours on hours in and then just say, "Let me just put all this effort that I put in practice in the race and then have just your pace." But if then there's a switch up like this, which I just thinking that sim racing and real life racing are very close together. This is like the part of like practice where went with this weather and then the race or qualifying the weather and temps changed. I would say this part here is this weight is like this is better. It does also makes up the grid quite a bit, which also then with your first question gives the competitiveness a different level. But also, what I noticed was competitiveness during the practice server was pretty set in stone on where people would be. Once the actual race server started, because of the temperature changes, some of the setups didn't work for some drivers, and I believe one of your questions is going to be what happened to me. That was what happened to me. My setup did not help. It was not fitting with the conditions of today.
Fair enough. And then moving forward, are you guys excited for more rounds, for more seasons, given that Anadara has been a little bit of a decisive configuration choice? you're looking forward to more conventional racetracks, such as Termas or Rio Hondo.
Well, neither of us have too much experience with the track, so we don't. I don't think we quite know if we like the track yet. I did do a couple laps, but not too many. So that said, I am just. I know that it doesn't have anything quite like that last chicane, and it does not have the same killer curbs. So I think that is something to look forward to.
Yeah,
So-
I'm excited as well, seeing how the car handles different tracks. Anadara being more of a special in that sense kind of track. So I'm looking forward on how the cars gonna handle those different tracks and how the drivers will be preparing for them.
Well, certainly it will be interesting to see what both of you are driving, as I know both of you are quite capable of drivers, especially Anna. I know you put in the hours and lifetimes needing, and I wonder if you're gonna aim for that Hall of Fame of amount with the most laps done.
I kind of feel obligated to be honest.
Arno really is looking forward to the season. He said so many times that he is looking forward to today's race, and now that it happened, I can't wait to see how much he is ready for next round. I have to say from my side as well, I had some issues. I had some personal issues preparing for this race here. I hope for next one I'll have more time and energy to put in the laps, put in the time, and hopefully I'll be also looking forward to maybe fight myself into like some higher positions.
Definitely. Speaking of on-track action, I know you, Luca, had a few incidents with another Luca out on track from LEF Racing. So is there? So how was those incidents from your point, and is that a start of a rivalry between Windmill Racing and LEF?
Well, I have to say, between me and Luca, I saw what happened in the beginning of the race with Arno as he was right behind me. I saw that he got slightly tapped behind and was probably from a battle that was between me and another driver, I believe. I forgot the name, but it was in the chicane. So I slowed down Arno a little bit, which might have induced Luca to slightly tap him. But then in the end, there was a slight tap between me and Luca as well in the next few laps, which then ended with him completely missing the corner and sliding off. I hope it's not going to be a rivalry. As a rivalry like this isn't really looking forward to where elbows are being put out. It's cleaner to see. It's better to see rivalries where you see strategy and overtaking, and not just you see the inside, you go for the inside, and then hope for the best. What happened in the next corner? But it's maybe gonna be furthest. That shows that our pace is quite similar.
Definitely. And how was the on-track action for you, Arno?
I think Arno's gone.
Well, in race one, I did not get to enjoy much of it. Like I said, due to that, well, the incident that was just discussed, that put me back. And, well, as I said, incidents breed incidents. After that, I suppose I just kind of did not have the focus anymore on the race. And so, you know, I had some incidents of my own that, that just put me back. So I didn't really get to race at all. In race two, I did have some pretty good racing, although most of it has been just chasing the drivers ahead. This is not the easiest track to overtake on. The opportunities are there's about two real good ones per lap, and I could never get close enough at those specific points. But I did manage to at least create a nice side-by-side finish with Bayer, so I can be happy with that.
Well, fantastic to hear from both of you. So, moving forward, definitely looking forward to seeing more from Windmill Racing, and seeing how.
I've tried to cut you off here. You've been saying your team name wrong here. It was Zoo Windmill Racing.
Wazoo Windmill Racing, apologies. So Wazoo Windmill Racing, seeing how far you guys can get aboard. So I have to move on to the final interviewee, and well, any final words from both of you?
Hope to see more racing like this next round.
Yep. See you. I will see you on February the 1st at Termas de Rio Hondo.
Indeed.
Should be.
Indeed. So I shall now put you back to Brazil as I bring in the final interviewee, new driver to our series, Reinis Vzemnieks. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. How was it out there for you, a trial by fire here in Letpo Racing?
It was something new. That's all I can say. It was something new for me.
Vinny, for me, did you enjoy yourself out there and how was the racing?
Well, as I said, it was fun, so it's pretty close that I enjoyed myself. Funny wording aside.
Indeed, and even in both racing, especially in race one, it seems to have improved 2 positions. Went from P20 to P18 in race one. So there's I was gonna say putting some good lap times in there. I reckon with a few more practice sessions, I reckon you could be battling for those point-paying positions.
I surely hope so, but first off, with the hardware I'm running, I don't think I can get that far. Of course, it's possible, but effort is gonna be immense if I want points. But
Well, you definitely managed, even with that hardware, to pass through the first hurdle, which is to qualify within the 104% rule. And moving on forward, did you enjoy the car? You enjoying the car? Did you enjoy the circuit out here today?
oh, the car and the circuit, those are first off, as I said, new things, very fun things to learn. I I enjoyed learning the car, learning the track. The track, of course, is a bit tricky, very technical mostly, and I did have my fuck ups. Let's just say it like that. But in the end, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I gained positions. That's better than some people can say.
Definitely, and as I said, you already managed to get by quite a few people just by purely qualifying here with the new rule that we've put in 104% to prioritize quality over quantity. So there's definitely a sense of achievement just qualifying within the 104% of some of the drivers that we have here that are extremely quick. So moving on forward to Termas Rio Honda. Not sure if you're familiar with the track, but are you looking forward to that track? Are you looking forward to seeing how you can develop and grow and where you can end in this championship?
I am definitely looking forward to learning the Argentinian track. Of course, new thing. Of course, I love learning new things. And I really want to see how the car performs on there because on this track, it was very tricky to get the setup down, which I believe was one of the factors to not being as competent as the others. But it wasn't bad either. I kept up, got some positions, and yeah.
Oh, you definitely managed to keep yourself quite clean as you managed to finish ahead of your teammate Jay Brandage.
Oh yeah, I feel bad for him.
Have you have any info on what happened to him? Because it seems like he had definitely the pace to fight for further points up in the field.
Oh, definitely. Uh, he's a very fast driver from what I've raced with him, and I think he said that he got suspension damage on the second race, which made him quit.
Ah, I see. So that's what happened to Jay Brandage. It's a very shame because I definitely would have loved to see what the trio of you would have been able to accomplish here today. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you are the only other team today that had 3 drivers present on the track. So
We were planning. No, my apologies.
no, you
Go ahead.
you go ahead.
Alright. We were planning to have 6 drivers, but one didn't qualify. Another steering wheel broke, and the third one decided to go play Daytona instead.
I see. Yeah, I've been made aware of the Daytona. But moving on forward to speak a little bit of rivalry, does SFWRT already have teams or people that they think would be the closest rivals that they would be battling for championship places in the team's championships?
Of that, I don't really have an idea. I've only joined the team like a month and a half maybe ago. But so far, it's fun. We chill, learn, try to make ourselves the best version of ourselves that we can be on the track.
Well, I'm certainly happy to hear that. And thank you for joining us here today and in Let's Pro Racing League. hope to see more of you, and definitely looking forward to seeing you in Argentina. Do you have any final words you would like to say?
Oh yeah, I'd like to thank everyone at least for making this whole thing possible. It's fun to make a debut in somewhere that I feel kinda competitive in.
Oh, there's definitely extreme competitiveness around here. Extreme friendly competitiveness, and we are very happy to have you join the ranks of that. So I will let you go now, and once again, thank you for joining us. I will put you back now to Brazil, and again, thank you to every single one of your viewers, and thank you to the Stewards team for helping put together this awesome opening round. Thank you to all the drivers that have been here, that have raced here today. They've shown some absolute masterclass here today, definitely setting new standards for what the racing should be like, especially in this league. 22 drivers present and no major incidents that required red flags, so that's been, or restarts even, so that has been absolutely wonderful to see. So from me, I'm looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Next week we will try and have a fun event, but we will have to keep the servers open for the practice, but we will organize something for next week. Until then, have yourselves a wonderful evening, and enjoy these outro music as per usual, and you'll be able to see this VOD out on YouTube to watch it back. Until then, take care of yourself, have a good night.
Come here, close my
Still streaming?